Hello, good evening, everybody. Hope audio is going through and everything is working. I'll do a quick test and just see that everything is working. Uh, yep, it looks like it's working. I still haven't fixed this damn clipping problem with my background video, or the background clipping. So yeah, last week we successfully managed to, well, sometime after the stream, but I did eventually get the character to start moving a little bit on screen. It is not doing a lot, but it is moving. So, um, that is exciting. Um, bring this down. Yeah, do something like, actually, come on the right screen. See that one. Oh, no. Um, hmm, no, wrong one. Okay, of course. So the camera has decided to die on us again. I'm just going to see if changing the camera helps at all with that. That one, that looks better. All right, so I do need to figure some of that stuff out. The camera disappearing all the time. But yes, we are here, and very quickly I can show you that. Now I can start taking some of those the debug logs out, but we have movement, and this is using the new Unreal Mover component. As you can see, the movement is a little bit janky, and obviously there is no animation uh, associated to this movement as of yet. But before we fix the animation, what I want to do is make the character turn in the direction of the input. Now I'm still in two minds as to whether I should move towards the pressed key. So if you press in A on the keyboard, you want to turn the character to the left and then move in the left direction. Or if you want to turn the character and move forward. I'm a little bit in two minds about that. I think thinking about it, the previous implementation that I had, I did have it rotating. So you were turning the character and then running forward. So forward was always moving and turning was turning. But perhaps we should move towards the stick, and that will work on controllers. It'll work on WASD controls, and it'll then also be consistent with how you are going to move if you are using click to move. So I think with that in mind, what I am going to quickly do, I was busy with this before we started, is come into my codec. So, and yes, I can do that. Pull this out, minimize it a little bit. No, that one, no, it's not what I want to do. And that. So you'll see, the hero card. That's not actually going to work. Okay. Let's leave that as it is. It's not actually going to work what I wanted to do. I'll have to come up with a better plan for next time. Maybe I'll just use the good old notepad trick. In fact, maybe that is an answer. Just use that as a new file, and let's quickly see how we want this to look. So rotate the character towards the direction of the press key. And if there's time, I'll add an animation blueprint with with a simple blend space. I feel like I've done this particular piece of the action a number of times, and I'm hoping that I'm getting to the end of repeating these actions. So let's see what are we going to need to do to achieve those lofty goals. Seems very simple. Okay. So we've got lots of C++, and we know that the movement gets minimize some of these things. Okay, that's too much. All right. No, let's do this. Let's play everything. Let's come here. So we know that movement gets bound by the hero component, if I remember correctly. So let's see. Should happen there. Okay. There. And currently what we're doing is we're just adding movement input on the pawn. There we're getting some rotator. What is that doing? Your rotation. So it's getting the rotator, but it's not ever setting the rotation. Doesn't look like it's actually using. So we're getting, so this, this is probably, I'm spitballing here a little bit. This is getting the character rotation. In other words, it's determining forward based on the character. And then it is, moving along the axes of the character now. So the challenge that that's going to give us is that what we actually want to happen is we want to turn the character and move in the direction of the pressed key. So, I wonder what is the best way for us to try and solve that problem. Suppose unreal for a second, so come out of here. I did have a weird thing happen where some of my UI blueprints broke, and I don't know if it had to do with the upgrade to 5.5.3. In case anybody was wondering, 5.5.3 updated this morning, so that was something. Okay, so there's our movement vector. Yes, that is good. So first things first, let's just see what happens if we remove this piece out. And forward direction is now right here under. How do we get the number? The hero component has a kind of component on it. But that's not what going to help us. Oh, that's a mode. Let's see what other camera options we have. These are all modes. Camera manager. Let's see what that is. So it's view targeting. Let's see if I'm looking at that. Oh, it is Oculus. Let's see. Come on. No. All right. Okay. So that seems to be happy. We want to change this to a rotator. Just because that's a meter. Um, mhm, mhm, mhm. The camera rotation. So let's see if we make a, let's see how much you go for the business const. Yes, what for the business const. Let's see if we do create that based on camera rotation. So making a whole bunch of assumptions. First of those being that, this thing is going to have a value. So, I'm going to just do that and see if we run it in debug mode. If it gets to do it and sometimes it doesn't. Um, the fun of waiting for loading screens to load. Okay. Let's see. We've got some blueprints. Startup level. This level. Okay. And let's see what happens. Okay. Okay. Um, seems to be happy with at least part of the conversation. Let's look at and see if this camera got a value. Um, seems to be okay. Okay. All right, it's not going to crash. So let's see what happens if. Oh, okay. So that means. So here's now what we're going to try and do. That should be quite interesting. Let's do something interesting. Stop that. Get into my player blueprint. Okay. Yeah. That's these things. Lots of garbage. Okay, let's go see. If we go into the player, we have a camera component and there are some settings on the camera that we can fiddle with. So here's the default distance and some pitch. And so if we bring it a bit closer, I'm going to make it, let's make it like whatever, it doesn't really matter. That a bit less. We want the angle to be a little, so we're going to go like a slightly flatter angle. This is still something that I'll do a bit of work on. Oh, God, gosh. There. Okay. Zoom. Yeah. And even though we have, okay, so the camera in this instance does not have a, um, the, the camera is always sort of pointing at the back of the player. So what I want to just check is I think the player start, yes, the player start component is pointed in a particular direction. So let's see what happens if we change the player start directions. Facing, and we are still moving in the direction of the keys and can't see which keys I'm pressing, but we are moving in the direction of the key. Here's an interesting experiment. Let's see. Okay, it's just detected my controller. Make my face disappear. Uh, oh, okay, so we do not have good controller support. So the controller support is either not configured correctly or not at all working. There was a little bit of movement. Does it look like there's a bit of movement, or am I imagining something? Yeah, I see there is movement, but the controller is definitely not moving correctly. And that could be because it's clearing the input at the end of the pawn, which works for the keyboard. No, I need to, um, no idea why that decided to come up. I don't want to launch a game with a controller, Xbox. Let's stop that. Um, I'm gonna have to try and disconnect it. Oh, I know. Well, I can just switch up the Bluetooth. Being daft. So let's just disable the Bluetooth here. Then, yeah. That is interesting. Why are you not letting me disable? I don't want to switch off my Bluetooth because then I'm going to lose, then I'm going to lose my audio. Okay. Let's see. Expect that now I'm going to have the controller. Oh, no, there we go. Keyboard is working again. All right. So there's something else that we are going to have to figure out is why is our controller not working when our keyboard is. But the basic principle of what I try to do is working, which is to align the movement rotation to the camera's rotation. Now, the camera that I've set up is not very flexible. I can change the height and the angle of it. I can't seem to change the position, the rotation of the camera as much. I can probably do it in the code, but that seems a bit over the top. And so we will always move in relation to the camera. I think that it does feel like that would give us the correct behavior, with the front facing of the camera being a zero rotation, and then whatever, yes, and then the player is moving inside of that. Okay, so that's cool. Now go back to Unreal. See unit interface, all the first occasion. Okay, so, all right. So now we do still need this control rotation. We still need the pawns rotation. Do we need the pawn rotation? No. Now we need to apply rotation based on, yes, we do need the pawn's rotation because we need to see what is the pawn's rotation and rotate it towards. So we actually need both of these things. Now this is probably not the most efficient way to do it. However, it's going to be in the layer photo. Sure. See. Yeah. Well, let's see if there's a way to, okay, no, we now need to create a move vector. We need to create a rotation vector based on the yaw. Alright, is the rotator in radians or in degrees? And it's not going to tell me either. Is the rotator also very useful for now? Okay, so let's just for mhm. Mm, okay, so if we are no, we've got to turn towards again. This is now where I used to know how to do this in Unity, but I'm not sure how to do this in Unreal. But for the sake of simplicity, we're just going to say if it is on the x-axis. But I'm just going to do this really, really brute force and then figure out more appropriate way to do this. Um, okay, so movement, ah, movement input of x, um, um, greater than 0. Okay, that means it's 1. That means it's right. That means it's positive 90, I guess. Um, else, um, okay, and we're gonna actually do this. I'm gonna say, if movement input dot x is not equal to 0, and then we're going to say that, and then so, okay. Um, ah, I don't know which language I was writing there. That's in SQL or something. Um, if movement input of y is not equal to 0, right, then control rotation, uh, if it is greater than 0, then we're pointing it at 0, and if it is not greater than 0, maybe, let's do that. So, and then this is, orientation. So in theory, if we press the key to the right, it will just flip the character to the right, flip it to 0. And maybe what we can do is, if it is not, well, it won't be set if it's not set. So it'll set it to 0 if there's no movement. Bang. That's not like that. That's a test level. Let's try it. Okay. Nope. No rotation applied. Okay. So that didn't work. Um, that's because it's not the mover that is the thing that we need to actually care about. It is not the mover, it is the pawn. And it's actually itself that you cannot set for rotation just like that. Oh, of course, this will now be a bit of a problem. One go deep control rotation. So, let's see if we can say set control. Nope, you can't set the control rotation. So, just 11L, then that doesn't work. So, pawn is this, so this, let's see, that. And test that out, see if my very brute force attempt at rotating the pawn works. Okay, let's see. So, oh, that's not, it is not doing that. So now what we can do, we can come here and, oopsie, that's not what I want to do either. Put a breakpoint over here. Oh, okay. X is 0. Okay, so we're going to put a breakpoint on these points, which means that it will only put the breakpoint if there is movement or to F5. Okay. The movement Y is less than 0, so it should set that to 80. Otherwise, there, that should be at 80. Steps will be used. So now I suspect that we switched off the use control. I think we switched off the use control rotation. Yes, I think the issue is that use control rotation has been disabled. Now we probably don't want to do this long term, but all that we want to achieve right now is get a bit of a vibe going, see what it's doing. So this is not doing it in the frames. So check that window. That one of the problems I think. That's interesting. That is interesting. It does not look like use control rotation. Okay, so we're going to just Mm, boom. Use rotation crop. And really we want, um, we just want it so we can see it. Yeah. Um, all right. So the first thing that's interesting is that it is actually setting my left and right on the y-axis, which I would have expected to be on the x-axis. Uh, okay. So these rotations are probably incorrect, but that's okay. So this is set to false, but I don't remember it being set anyway. Let's see, maybe I must have set. Oh, there we go. Huh? Oh, that's in the engine. It's only in the engine, and okay. All right. So I suspect that I need to explicitly tell it that we're going to want to use it. So stop this clicking. Um, uh, Assumptions are generally problematic. Okay, so in our constructor, we have a camera component, and we are going to say we use controller rotation yaw. Oops, we actually want that enabled. So for now, maybe we don't want it enabled long term, but we want to enable it for now. Okay. Nope, we're still not doing bug at all in terms of rotation. No, the movement is still working, so nothing's broken, but that's not really very sexy, is it? Um, so what am I missing? Because even though I've got this the wrong way around, which probably uh, this, okay? Even though I have them the wrong way around or had them the wrong way around, that should still work. So when in doubt, ask Google. Um, and, okay, like that, something. Um, nope, I don't want to watch the video. Um, Oh yes, that was the one reason why I did not want the character to um, move in the direction of the controllers. I wanted you to be able to walk backwards. Hmm. So the the reason why now I remember why I wanted to not rotate the character towards the movement is so that you can move backwards. How will you do that in a WASD game? Um, because pacing is going to be important. You don't really want to turn your back on your enemies. Um, that is interesting. That is an interesting challenge. Yeah, still got attacked by a moth. Mm. Okay. So either way, we still need to rotate the character. And I can't remember how I did this the last time. When in doubt, go take a look at old code. Take a look at the old code. Um, it will be, yeah. Da-da-da-da. Okay. Um, I remember this. Let's take a look. So here's why you have source control. Um, this is a previous iteration of this code where we did some movement based on, um, cached moving intent. Now I can use that, I can use the current approach, I think, um, and then, use that for the cached move intent. Okay. I'm not going to just slap the whole thing over. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take this. Ah, I'm wondering if that isn't the problem. Huh. Okay, so this is actually why it's not turning, because I am setting this piece here. So let's just, oh, okay, I don't know what I'm looking at. What do I need to do? I need to first stop the engine. Why do I feel like the engine isn't running? The engine isn't running. There's a big light in my face and I'm thinking that the engine's running. So This is just saying, move it forward, point it at the forward direction. But what we actually want to do is, we want to take the actor rotation, and we're just going to, for now, we're just going to literally aim it at the direction that, no, that's not it's a vector. Okay, so, okay, so that's all right. That's easy to do. We can just make that of it. Okay, I'm mumbling, which I apologize for. So the issue here is that this actually tells the moving component how to rotate the pawn, and we're telling it now to rotate in the direction of this rotator, which may or may not be the way to do it, but this is a little bit brute force, but I want to just see if my assumption is correct that I've just been overriding the rotation every time with that call. If that is then in fact correct, then we can move in the direction, then hopefully it'll rotate the character. And if that does rotate the character, then we can do a little bit of caching. See about doing something a bit smarter than just brute forcing it in a direction. All right, let's see. Nope, no such luck. No such luck. Well, it was worth a try. I'm going to try the simplest possible answer to the problem. Let's get it again and see if what am I missing? Nope, I'm not missing anything. Default, continue input, get attention. Okay. Alright, let's see what command. Okay, so that does it. That does it. This. Okay, that's cool. Alright, so. Okay. So grab this code and we're going to, so basically similar to the way that it was, said that we are going to take this, movement input, like so, and we're going to do that. Really like that, the way that height or something does that. And then that sets the move input for the forward movement. Then, we're going to do something here. And, yeah, place that with that. Okay. That, this, this. Okay. So, alright, so what is this code doing? We've just set up a very small float so that it's not exactly zero. We then check if the absolute value of the input is greater than that really small number. Then we set the movement in the direction of the forward vector. Else, this is interesting. If it is less than, then we rotate the vector, so I think that then points it backwards, moves it backwards. Okay. And we get the rotation, and we say times by the rotation rate, which I think is set to 80, and calculate the new orientation and set its orientation. And that worked previously, I thought. We'll see now whether this is going to work. We'll see now whether this is going to work. Oh wow. Yeah, let's test this piece out, and then you can see whether we are winning. Come along. All right. Okay. I can only hope that I haven't broken it worse than it was broken before. Right. Yep. Now it's broken. Okay. Oh, I see. So the rotation is not applying, but the movement is. Still not very smooth, but it is moving, but it's now not rotating. So why is it not rotating? Curious. Curiouser and curiouser. Let's go see. I think this was the piece that we were. No, that's not the piece. Let's go take a look. Um, Now, this is the code that we had in there, which I thought would be working. Okay. That's the one that we just checked. Let's take a look. This is in content. We need to be in source. Share. Some of those things. Out of those. Hmm. That is very interesting. So it's set up the same way, barring some of the that's involved with the changes. If we look here, you see that that is where it's setting the rotation, where it's picking up. Yeah, there it is setting up that rotation. Here it is saying that it is plus equal the y times the rate times delta second. And that looks exactly the same. If you take a look here, you see there, it's setting up the new rotation yaw, so plus equal the input y times the rotation rate times the timestamp, and sets it to that, and then remove that code, that doesn't do anything. So, and then here, this I'm not sure about yet. We're going to put this in here as an alternative. Um, this then says only if there is a turn do you try to turn. Okay, that's fair enough. Yeah, that's actually correct. Um, so we can really say, oh, right. So previously it was only turning if you were moving. So, uh, if, yes, uh, input y, greater than a small number. And, but I don't think that that is the problem unless I was only testing one key at a time. Pretty sure I didn't just press one key at a time. So let's see. Yeah, there's still nothing even interesting that when you press the key, it slows down. So there is some effect. There's definitely an effect, but it's just not. See, I'm pressing a turning key now, and that slows the character down. So there is an effect. It's just not the effect that I'm expecting. Which implies that, making some form of progress. So what would that cause be? It's seemingly the orientation change is, um, the orientation change is, um, hmm, that's interesting. It feels like this is almost going in the opposite of the direction that you're moving. Okay. So that's just about an hour. I don't want to subject everybody to me sitting here banging my head against the screen for an inordinate amount of time. I will resolve this in the next couple of hours, but I'm going to let everybody go back to their normal lives. For those who have been watching, thank you very much. If you're new, say hi. If you are at least feeling a little better about the fact that this stuff is still kicking my butt more often than not, then keep on watching. We'll get better at it, and also this is kind of the way it goes with development oftentimes. So appreciate anyone who has been watching or watches at some time in the future. We'll be doing this again next week, and I'll probably post a little update when I finally fix this. So thanks for watching. Have a good weekend, and catch you on the next one.